Good evening. Before we get into our devotional, I wanted to give an update on Chuck Spitzley. A very good interaction with his nurse yesterday, last night. They mentioned that his numbers show he does not have sepsis anymore, and that was a huge answer to prayer. They did try to bring him off the sedation, but he is still on a vent. And so on Saturday, he was at 90%. Last night, he was at 50%. So that's good, but he had to keep him on one sedation just because of the ventilator. And so they're still trying to bring him off. They couldn't bring him off today. He was still too exhausted for that. So he is not out of the woods, but I just wanted to give that update that God is answering prayer and is continuing to do so. And so very thankful for all of the prayers for him. And I had a question for our devotional tonight, is what propels us forward? And this question came from just a comment that I got today. A gentleman told me, he said he thought that I had a lot of energy. And I'll give a background to that in a moment. But I thought, what gives us energy? What propels us forward? Sunday, we looked at Galatians chapter 6 quite a bit. And in verse 9 it says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good. For in due season we will reap if we do not give up." What propels us forward? What causes us to continue to do good? What causes us not to give up? So doing good means we have to access something stronger than ourselves. God's Spirit, God's strength, God's energy. I want to give you a context to that statement. This morning at breakfast, Gabriel's sitting there and he's talking about his field trip today. And I get a call, and as he is talking about it, not eating his breakfast, I get a call from James Morris, and he says, Gabe says, "I'm really looking forward to my field trip." I said, "I'm looking forward to your field trip too." Their chaperones were sick, and James Morris was by himself taking the 6th grade, and so he looked at the list, and I was one of the parents, and so I was volunteered. All right, I'm kidding. So I had time to go get my hair cut, and as I'm sitting there talking to this gentleman, and he said, "You have a lot of energy." I said, "I need it because I'm about to spend all day with 6th graders. Don't have any of that energy anymore after the end of this day." I'm just kidding. What propels us forward? There's a story of a devout Scotsman who had painted the word faith on one oar of his rowboat and works on the other oar of his rowboat. When someone asked him, "Why have you painted faith on one oar and works on the other?" He says, "You can't get anywhere with one oar. You'd row in a circle. You need both faith and works to move ahead. So I painted both. You can't have it either or." And you think about it. If you just have faith on one oar, he's right, you're going to go in circles. If you just have works on one oar, you're just going to go in circles. You cannot have it either or. Faith and works together propel us forward. And so we recognize that this idea of what propels us forward, it takes God's strength, it takes God's Spirit, it takes God's energy. It takes faith and works together. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Psalm 27:14. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Psalm 46:1 and 2. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Ephesians 6:10. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. So this evening, what propels you forward? Is it faith and works combined? Is it God's strength? Is it God's spirit? Is it God's energy? Tonight we have an invitation that we're offering. And maybe a lack of strength, or maybe a need for being strengthened can propel you forward. As we can pray with you, if we can encourage you, don't allow anything to stop you from accessing the strength that God provides. If you need to be propelled forward, while together we stand and as we sing.
I hear